with sarcasm. With my mom passing at the beginning of my junior year, I hadn't been able to finish high school. Someone had to put food on the table, and with no other family, that someone ended up being me. The heavyset woman nodded approvingly.
It's bittersweet when they grow up. I've been a mother's helper for over 30 years. Many of my previous charges have children of their own now.
She let out a giggle that turned into a wheeze. Whatever. I wasn't getting into a pissing contest with these pretentious bitches. I pulled out my cell phone and scrolled through my text messages. There were 2 from Sydney, my best friend and roommate, wishing me good luck on the interview. 1 from my boss, Max, begging me to come in and dance an early set tonight. And 7 from Jeremy Riggs, one of my crazy stalkers from the club. I let out a deep sigh. Why can't I attract decent guys? It seemed as if I was a walking magnet for the creeps and assholes of the universe. Since I was a kid, I'd dreamed of finding the kind of fairy tale happy ever after prince I'd seen in movies. Now, I'd just settle for a mentally stable guy who treated me well and didn't try to cheat on me with my friends. While I blocked Jeremy and responded to Sid and Max, Mrs. Pierce, the dour-faced, gray-haired English housekeeper, called the other 2 women into their interviews. Within minutes, each of the women returned to the foyer with dazed looks on their faces. Mrs. Pierce ushered them out before I could consider asking them how it had gone. That's strange. I rubbed my suddenly sweaty hands on my skirt.
"Miss James,"
Mrs. Pierce announced, motioning me toward a closed door down the hall. She waited for me to walk over and then opened the door.
"For the first portion of the interview, I'll be observing your interactions with Mira."
She pointed into the room. I looked inside and found a small female child playing with stuffed animals on the floor of a playroom. The bright murals on the walls, along with the colorful playhouse and slide, were a welcome contrast to the formal decor outside. Mrs. Pierce sat down on a chair near a large mirror in the back of the room and watched me expectantly. Taking my cue from her, I approached the little girl and crouched down so I was at her level. "Hi, I'm Vanna." Mira looked up at me with bright yellow eyes. I swallowed a gasp. I'd never seen eyes like that before. As she righted the plastic gemstone-encrusted tiara on her head, I realized her dark hair was streaked with silver. Do her parents dye her hair?
"It's rude to stare,"
the little girl said in an imperious tone. Her lion-eyed gaze narrowed, and she pursed rosebud lips that were dusted in what looked like cookie crumbs. I chuckled. "Right you are. I apologize. I've just never seen hair as beautiful as yours. It's like fairy princess hair." She smiled at me with a radiance that would make her a showstopper one day.
"I like to dress up like a princess."
She patted the skirt of her sequin-covered blue satin and chiffon dress. "Me too," I said, smiling back. Mira looked over at a plate of cookies sitting on a bookcase.
"Can I have a cookie?"
I looked over at Mrs. Pierce. The housekeeper shook her head.
"Now, Mira, you've already had several cookies today. No more."
Mira tugged on my arm.
"I want a cookie. Get me just one."
I shook my head. I wish I could, but it's not up to me. Surprising me, she cupped my face in her tiny hands and stared directly into my eyes.
"Get me a cookie,"
she said in a strange voice. I pulled away, rubbing my suddenly throbbing head. "Sorry, no can do, kiddo." She blinked, a look of disappointment washing over her elfin face. "I'd love to see your dress-up clothes," I added to soften the sting. "Do you have more pretty gowns like this one?" I motioned down at her costume. Cookies forgotten, she beamed and dragged me toward a pink wardrobe where dozens of sparkly frocks hung, while she pulled dress after dress down from the hanger.